Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. This is HD and I'm back for game number 2 between DongRaeGu from Complexity MVP and between It's Gosu Gatored here for the second game here of the Zerg versus Protoss. So stay tuned guys, we're gonna have well, we might have another game in this series. It might be 3 games total, or it might be 2. Of course, this is from Intel Extreme Masters in New York, which was played a few days ago. And this is actually happening at the same time as MLG, I believe. So a lot of players had to, and a lot of fans had to decide, do I go to MLG or do I go to IEM? And I remember being at IPO and I asked a lot of people, are you guys going to be at MLG or are you guys going to be at IEM? And a lot of guys said, you know, I can't really tell. I don't know. I want to go to both. So it was certainly really cool just having so many StarCraft 2 events in 1 month. And because I didn't see any of the games from IEM, because of course I was at MLG, I think it's a great pleasure here to be able to cast a lot of these IEM games. And of course, who can forget about BlizzCon, where they're going to have the GSL Grand Finals being broadcast, as well as Ultimate Barcraft. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be there, but I'm certainly going to try to make a showing. It was actually really interesting. I never said that I was going to go to Ultimate Barcraft, but apparently my name is on the list of people that will be there. And I saw that and I was like, well, now I have to go there. So I don't know who organized that event, but you know, big kudos to them. And of course, big ups to Barcraft for becoming so big now. By the way, for those of you guys who don't know what Barcraft is, it's like the movement now. It's the new StarCraft 2 movement where nerds and dorks and all of us alike that play video games end up going to a bar and kicking out all the jocks. And you know, we shut off the football, we shut off the baseball, and we just watch StarCraft. There was actually an article on the Wall Street Journal about that. Jocks get into a fight with nerds over over bars programming. So I thought it was really funny. But anyways, yes, I will be there hopefully for Ultimate Barcraft, but I'm definitely going to be there for BlizzCon, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. Anyways, getting back to this game, so we've got Complexity MVP's DongRaeGu here as the red Zerg. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map is MLG's dual site, which it's a map that a lot of people love and hate. It's a kind of a love-hate relationship. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it because I haven't had that much practice on it, but you know, it's very symmetrical. It seems very laid out to have a good, you know, competitive setup, so I can't bash on it too much. But we'll just have to see how this is going to work out. Gatored, of course, going to be the green Protoss at the top right, who went for a Forge Fast expand this time rather than the Nexus first. And you know, this is just a little bit more safer than opening up with the Nexus first, simply because you get the cannons out a little bit earlier, and it makes a lot of sense on this map as well because the natural is, you know, it's a little bit more exposed in my opinion, and of course it's a 1v1 map rather than a 4-player map, so Zerglings can make their way in a little bit quicker. And so that first cannon is up. These 4 Zerglings probably aren't going to be able to do any damage. They're going to traverse across Char's burned terrain here and approach the vision of the Nexus. But with a second cannon coming up at a very well-placed position, I don't know if these Zerglings are going to be able to do any damage, if at all. So they are going to be pushed away for now. Meanwhile, it looks like Gatored here with 5 minerals in hand, going to make his way down to the Zerg Natural, and it will see the hatchery coming up. DongRaeGu has 3 drones, no, just 1 drone on gas, so he's already got speed done. Yes, his speed is already done, so he got that speed fairly quickly. Of course, that's the benefit of opening up the hatch and pull for the pull first and the gas first before hatch. And uncharacteristically, Gatored losing his initial scouting probe. You know, at this high level, a lot of players will be very you know, they'll be very attentive to their early scouting drone, SCV, or probe, especially Protoss players for that scouting probe, because the probe can be such an annoyance factor. So I'm a little surprised that Gatored let that thing go down. But it looks like he's going to go ahead and get the Cybernetics core right now. 2 gases up for him inside the main. So we'll see what he chooses to work with on those 2 gases. You know, it could just be quick sentries. It could be the Void Ray opening again, which is becoming wildly popular against Zerg. We'll just have to see once that Cybernetics core is down which route Gatored wants to rock. And right now DongRaeGu leaving 4 Zerglings on the outside of the natural. And this is actually really important. The reasoning why you want to leave those Zerglings on the outside is because you see any units that come out of the Protoss, you know, buildings, infrastructure, which direction the Protoss player really is going, and that kind of dictates what DongRaeGu wants to do. So just really smart play in general here. And we have a robotics facility coming up for Gatored. So deviation from the first game. Remember, guys, Gatored has the first win here against DongRaeGu. So I hesitate to say, but I guess you kind of gotta go with the fact that Gatored is the underdog in this matchup. You know, DongRaeGu is, you know, if you had a spread, a betting spread, I think DongRaeGu would certainly have more plus points on his side. But Gatored taking the first win here, is also moving out across the map with 2 Zealots. And I actually really like this. A lot of times, you know, Protoss players will sit back, they won't ever move out until they have that maxed out army or until they feel comfortable, but just send out a couple of Zealots against a Zerg player. You know, you get early scouting, you find out if the third is up or not, like you see here. In this case, yes, the Zealot did go down, but a lot of times that early Zealot can, you know, it can do some damage. It can harass the drone line. It forces a Zerg player to, rather than drone, build some Zerglings. So let's see what DongRaeGu does with these Zerglings. He's got, let's see, he's got about 13 on the field, 44 probes to 42, so his economy looking pretty good, but the Protoss player is really right on his heels. A couple of Zerglings, though, trying to make their way through the front, gonna be repelled by the double cannons and maybe that Overlord? No, not gonna go down. DongRaeGu, of course, coming in with the Overlord here, trying to get that crucial scout. Just wants to know exactly what the hell is Gatored doing. And this 8-minute to 9-minute scout, the delayed scout is so important against Protoss and against Terran for Zerg. You gotta know what your enemy is doing. And with the Overlord moving in here, he is gonna see a couple of gateways, but I don't think he saw that robotics facility. So he's really, oh, there he is. He is going to see the robotics facility. So the double scout from the north and the south now going to reveal the fact that Gatored is going for what seems to be 6-gate robo here. So pretty much all primarily ground units. We're probably going to see some quick immortals out of him, and then eventually attack switch into Colossus. And I think DongRaeGu is going to be pretty comfortable with that. He may want to stop making roaches, though. He did have a lot on the field here. But he may actually just want to go right into a Hydralisk den. Hydras are really good against Gateway and against robotics units, minus the Colossus. And the reason for that is, well, Hydras are just, they're really good against everything on the ground. Once they have like some kind of a unit in the front to tank for them. So we'll see if DongRaeGu decides to go for Hydras. Right now he is on 3 base, ladies and gentlemen, so this is certainly something that he's going to be a lot more comfortable with. I am at least more comfortable with this than he was in the last game, because he has 1 extra base over the Protoss, and anytime you're in a situation like that, you are golden. Now, it looks like Gatored here maybe thinking about pushing out. He's got a lot of Immortals, guys, and remember, these Immortals now, they have 6 range, so they're quite a bit beefier than they were in the past. They don't get all tangled up in your army and do the little crab walk, not able to shoot what they want to shoot. Now they actually will fire, so they do contribute to the army. And you know what? Gatored has a pretty significant army here. Once again, that is 6-7 gate robo. Wow. That's quite an army moving out here for Gatored. So Gatored looking to punish the third here. And DongRaeGu is making about 30 lings right now. A couple of roaches as well, but no Hydralisks. I am not entirely sure why. He already got the you know, the missile upgrade level 1. I really think Hydras would be so helpful in this situation. And now he's getting the Hydralisk den. So finally he sees, hey, that's a lot of gateway units, a lot of robotics facility units. Some Hydras could be really good here. So he's getting the Hydralisk den. He's almost got the Spire done as well, but he is going to try to go ahead and intercept these 5 Zealots in the middle of the field. Just, you know, smart play by him, whittling down that Protoss army before it becomes too unmanageable. Gatored, in the meanwhile, has a pylon up. He's warping in a lot of Stalkers, and this army is looking very, very big here. I love the Guardian Shield, just reducing the damage those roaches can do, and look at those force fields, keeping the roaches away, locking in some roaches in between 2 lines of force fields, and that Protoss army just able to stutter micro and kill everything. And oh my, these roaches that come in from the left are gonna get slayed by those 3 Immortals. It is not even a challenge, and Gatored is disrupting everything. He's destroyed so many units now. There are 9 Hydralisks on the way, 10 Hydralisks, but I think this hatchery is gonna go down, and if it does, you know, DongRaeGu is just going to be in a horrible position. I mean, how many times have you seen a Zerg player win after losing their 3rd natural there? And there it goes. It has gone down. More units warping in. It looks like some Zerglings, though, making a counterattack for DongRaeGu, so he's trying to make something happen here out of nothing. And he may get a couple of probe kills. Just 6 right now. I think that cannon will be able to hold off the majority of the lings, and I don't know about this. Gatored not microing here, losing a lot of forces right now, completely focused on the battle on the frontier, but as a result, he's losing so many probes. Wow. So DongRaeGu getting a little bit of a victory there, but let's pull up that income tab, 34 under 59. So, okay, DongRaeGu not in a bad spot at all. He's still a little bit in, he's still got to deal with this Protoss army though, and thankfully now he's got Hydralisks, he's got the Grooved Spine upgrade, so they do have that additional range. And, you know, this is a very, very tense moment for DongRaeGu and for Gatored, because Gatored has lost so many probes. But he is on 2 base versus the 2 base of DongRaeGu, so I really feel like it's a very even matchup right now. It's hard to tell who's ahead. The thing though is these Hydralisks are coming through in the clutch, man. But those force fields, of course, keeping the Hydras at bay. Gatored just playing his force fields very, very well, and oh no, the drones have been pulled off the line, the drones have been summoned to battle, and now that eco advantage that DongRaeGu had due to the Zergling counterattack may just fall. A lot of drones are getting slayed here, although Gatored's army is getting diminished due to the drones coming in to help fight. But let's pull up that income tab once again. Now it is 33 to 34, so very, very, very much in Gatored's favor, I feel like. You know, it's 2 base to 2 base. It's even number of workers. Gatored just has to not overcommit here because he's certainly evened up this matchup. He's got to be careful. He's falling back right now. DongRaeGu pushing forward, and unbelievably, DongRaeGu with just a handful of roaches and hydras looking to make a counterattack here. This is actually quite amazing, ladies and gentlemen. DongRaeGu on the back foot. All the forces are in his face, and somehow, some way, he's able to push the Protoss army back. This is unbelievable, and this is where those Hydras really shine through, and oh man, +2 missile upgrades for the Roaches and for the Hydralisks. So, those guys are doing, what is it, 20 damage on the Acid Saliva, 14 damage on the Needle Spines, and of course the Hydras shoot way faster than the Roaches do. So look at this, DongRaeGu is pushing Gatored back. Is he going to be able to pick off that pylon? Couple more Zealots morphing in. Now remember, if DongRaeGu can pick off this pylon, then no more reinforcements for Gatored, and this will end the attack, and the pylon has gone down. The pylon has gone down, so Gatored has been pushed away. DongRaeGu has held on to his natural despite losing his 3rd hatchery. And I reiterate, how many times, guys, have you seen a Zerg player win and come back after losing his 3rd, and of course losing so many drones as well? So, oh, DongRaeGu just playing so well right now, but he is at an eco disadvantage. It looks like that entire time Gatored was probing up. Now all Gatored has to do is hold this front door. Can he do it though? That is a lot of +2 roaches and hydras. They are attacking the Nexus right now, and the Nexus has lost all its shields. The Nexus could go down. Gatored is pulling all of his probes off the line. The Nexus at 32 HP. He's forced to fight here, and he may end up losing a lot of probes, ladies and gentlemen. DongRaeGu with the counterattack of the century. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. He lost his hatchery. He lost a bunch of workers, and he was still able to push the Protoss army back. This is just showcasing the power of the Hydras in the right moment of time. Look at that, Gatored forced a GG, and you know, a lot of players will say, you know, Hydras are bad, Hydras are garbage, but Hydras are great in specific situations, and in a situation where the Protoss doesn't have any Colossus, any charge lots, any Storm, Hydras are great. And those situations don't come too oftenly, so I'm glad that DongRaeGu, you know, too often. I'm glad DongRaeGu came back and was able to make a game out of this. What a comeback! What a counter push, and a hold at his natural as well. So it looks like the series is now tied up 1-1. We're gonna go ahead and move into a game number 3, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm pretty pumped up right now about this series, and we're gonna see game 3 right after this.